Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode from Cook Vegan's YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed to this channel, do click the subscribe button now and give us a few thumbs up as you hear my amazing guest speaker today, Miss Jules Francis, speak about relationships people have with food and nutrition and how they can live a better and healthier life, with so many interesting tips that she's got in store for you, as well as courses, newsletters, blogs, and so much more you can sign up to. So without further ado, Jules, thank you for coming back on Cook Vegan.
Thank you, Farah. Good to see you.
Lovely to see you as always. Now, thank you so much because you have written two really interesting blogs for me personally. One on our Cook Vegan platform website. So guys, do check that out as well. And there's another one at the St. Raphael Resort and Marina website to do with New Year's. One is on New Year's resolutions and how to stay healthy, and others is about how to travel and stay healthy. So maybe you could tell us all a little bit about that without giving too much away, because we want people to read the blog. But,
sure,
but how can people make a New Year's resolution and actually stick to it? And what are your top tips on 2022 and people making their awareness and their relationship with food just healthier and better?
Yeah, absolutely. So I find that typically somebody would make New Year's resolutions, we all do it, and then we don't look at them again until the following New Year, which is probably one of the worst things that we can do. So I think the best thing that you could actually ask yourself is, why is this even a goal? So what is the reason that this is actually even something you want to give any attention to? What would be the outcome for setting that goal? What would the benefits be? And once you've established what your why is, instead of just writing down a goal, really get to understand what benefits and outcome you'll get from setting that goal. And keep checking in with yourself, if not weekly, monthly, just keep checking in with yourself. Have it somewhere visible where you can clearly be reminded that this is something you really want and that's important to you, and what the benefits are.
And what would you say, because a lot of people associate goals and New Year's resolutions with going to the gym, eating less sugar, losing weight, and they put a lot of emphasis, I think, still on, calorie counting and becoming healthy. I say that with inverse commas, because it's really more about goals that they can really see. So it's more about weight loss. So what would you say to people with that and having a healthier relationship with their body?
Exactly. I would say the first thing is, don't focus on anything that you're going to lose. So to have a goal that says weight loss already is a negative, and it's already setting you up for not a very good result. It's a very, it's a very quick fix thing to say, I want to lose weight, and then you do everything you possibly can to do that, and then you don't reach it, because that's not how the body works, and that's not what weight is actually about. So you kind of, setting yourself up for failure before you've even began, which is not advisable. So how can we do it differently? Well, if you do have any challenges with weight, and that is something that you intend to change, first of all, think about what the positives could be. So for example, you want to gain body confidence, or you want to feel more comfortable in your clothes. And so then you ask yourself a more open question, well, how can I get to that point? And often you then wouldn't focus on what you're weighing if you stand on scales, or what size clothes you are. It's more about the feeling, and it's more about your mindset around it, which is a much more friendly and longer lasting approach than I want to lose weight, which is a very door shutting thing to say to yourself. And also it's about enjoying a challenge you have, as opposed to forcing yourself and pushing yourself to go to the gym, or all the things that people do out of stress is actually going to have a counter effect, because stress encourages weight gain. So if you're stressing about going to the gym, you're definitely not going to get a positive benefit, because stress is not good for our bodies, as we all know that. Does that make sense?
It does. And also I think it's I couldn't agree more, because what I think a lot of people do, they get so worried about putting on weight that they might say, oh, I put on weight, and actually they had a really nice holiday, or they had a really nice evening out, and rather than then enjoying that feeling and that fulfillment of being with friends or eating that food. And by the way, everyone, this could still be vegan food and could still be vegan wine or anything else. Then they put that pressure and the negatives, as you say, they focus on that. So they're not gaining anything. They didn't then enjoy their meal as much as they could have done. And then they're putting on weight, let's say, or, you know, having other negative side effects from that. Whereas if they focus on, no, I've gained a lovely evening, you know, I've relaxed my mind, I did have another glass of wine and I did eat that extra bit of vegan cake, but I enjoyed it. And now I'm going to have, you know, a healthy week, you know, doing my yoga or whatever else to make up for that, as opposed to stressing. So yeah, it's a different way of viewing the same thing.
Different way of viewing it, yes. And for those of you listening that think that they'd like to get to that point, but actually they're not at that point, then that's great to recognize that that's your goal. So your goal may be, therefore, I want to get to the point of improving my relationship with drinking, with eating, with eating cake, whatever it is that you have, and not saying, I don't want to eat it, because all of those emotions that come with that, you know, the guilt afterwards is like Farah says, you're taking away the enjoyment that you had at the time of eating, which is so important.
Absolutely. And I've read this before in a lot of your really interesting articles. Everyone do check out Jules's blog and website, because she really has some fascinating information there, and her newsletters are great. And I've read previously you've spoken about or written about the relationship people have, or the correlation it has with our childhood, because, you know, we were told don't have that extra chocolate or don't have this, and there's a lot of don't haves as opposed to enjoy it. And it's something that I try as a mother not to do to my children. So I try and have, let's say, this super healthy cake. It might not be a raw cake, but at least it's a healthy option and it is vegan. And I've never told my kids, oh, you can't have a second piece. I'm like, eat the whole cake if you want to, because it's, you know, it's got nuts in, it's got things, and they will never do it, but it's there. They can have as much as they want. We'll make healthier donuts at home, and then they can have a second one or a third one, which they don't, because it's not that barrier that's placed in front of them where they can't have, and then they feel suffocated from that and have that negative relationship with food. So I've read your articles, but why don't you tell everyone else here, like, you know, why does that happen and how can we break that chain reaction?
Absolutely. Well, that chain reaction is like behavior patterns. So you're triggered by something. It could be you weren't hungry until there was a plate of food in front of you, and then you suddenly decided that you need to eat it. You know, that's a trigger. It's like an external cue. Food is there, or suddenly you walk past an ice cream van, and that sound of the van that makes you think I need an ice cream, when previously 3 seconds before you didn't. So it's about recognizing that it's about getting in tune with what your body is calling for, not what your thoughts are calling for. So if your body is hungry, respond with something sensible, and if your body is full, respond by not eating anymore. And if you start thinking, oh, that looks yummy, I'm going to eat it, you're kind of neglecting what your body needs, because it didn't need that at all. Especially with children, it's definitely an area of teaching them to listen to whether or not there's too much food on the plate, there's not enough food on the plate, the food on the plate is not what's good for them. Children are so wise when it comes to not wanting to eat things, and often we as parents, I'm a parent as well, you know, we can encourage our kids to eat things because we believe that that's good for them, but actually sometimes there's a lot of wisdom in them saying, I really don't fancy that, and it's their body saying, I really don't want you to put that inside of me, even if it's a vegetable. Some vegetables disagree with people, you know. So it's really about tuning into what your body is asking for, not what your thoughts are asking for, and getting in touch with that behavior pattern and breaking it. So once you have the awareness that you're just looking for things to eat when you're not hungry, you can cut it there and make a different decision.
That's such wise advice, and especially for us as parents, to remember not to force our kids to eat things that we believe they should be having. Maybe their little bodies are telling them otherwise. And then how would you say, for people who are transitioning to a more plant-based diet, whether they're going fully vegan or not, and this is around the month now, Vegan January, which you can do any time of the year, everyone watching. So even if you watch this and it's, you know, July or October, do sign up for Vegan January and give it a go. what would you say to people who are making that move and wanting to introduce more wholesome, more plant-based food in their diet, or just wanting to go vegan, but maybe then will end up being a junk food vegan and not necessarily very healthy? How would you say that they should do this, proceed with that aim and that goal of becoming more plant-based?
There's three things I want to say about that. The first thing is, that saying, don't eat an elephant all at once, you eat it in small pieces, or however that goes. It's almost like,
I actually don't know that expression. I'm happy I don't.
So that expression is about, if you ate an elephant whole, it would be pretty much impossible. So you take it in bite-sized pieces. So transitioning from whatever it is you eat now to becoming plant-based or vegan could be for you the size of an elephant, a massive challenge, a huge chore, because you could be a big meat eater and eat a lot of fish, and it suddenly becomes like this, how am I going to get there? So my advice would be,
we need to coin a new expression, like you wouldn't eat a whole, I don't know, what can we think of the biggest fruit in the world, like you wouldn't eat 1,000 watermelons at once. So
yeah,
a quarter at a time.
Exactly. We can change it from elephants to watermelons. That's good. So it is about pacing it and going slowly, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't imagine anybody is putting pressure on you to become a certain way in a certain time frame apart from yourself. So again, it's about enjoying the process, and it's really about getting in tune with what your body is ready to receive and what your body is ready to stop receiving. So bit by bit, and enjoy the journey. If you put pressure on, I have to become vegan by the end of January, where's the enjoyment in that? And then by middle of February, you eat a piece of fish, how are you going to feel? So that's not going to work, that approach.
Exactly, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing, and definitely not at the beginning. It takes time for some people to,
there might just be like one ingredient that's much harder to stop eating than others. For a lot of my clients, it's cheese. A lot of my clients, cheese is very difficult, because cheese can be very addictive, and so people don't realize that cheese is addictive, and it's harder to stop than milk, for example. The other point I was going to say was, again, like we spoke about goals, if you get in touch with why you want to become plant-based, why you want to transition to veganism, or whatever it is, you'll be much more likely, if that reason is genuine, to follow through than just saying, I fancy getting on board with that trend. Really getting in touch with why it's important to you. Is it a health reason? Is it animal reason? Is it environmental? What is the reason? And really feeling your way to that is the focus. And then you can't go against your ethics as easily as you can saying, yeah, I fancy just not eating meat. It's much more of a flaky idea, that. Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Jules. Where can people find you and learn more, and how can you help people in their relationship with food? You offer one-on-ones, you offer courses. Tell us more about what you're doing and how people might find you.
For sure. So
go vegan.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, you can join my newsletter for a start, which is julesfrancis.com/newsletter. And there you'll receive lots of different articles, tips, and news that I'm up to, and lots of freebies that I give away. So newsletter would be the first port of call. I have a Facebook group, which is the Eat Better, Look Better, Feel Better Facebook group. So they're the kind of free resources. I see clients one-to-one in my private coaching practice. So we go through various different, massive reasons as to why people have challenging relationships with food. It's often nothing to do with food, and we go down a lot of those routes of discovering what's going on with their belief system. And we help, I help them to change their beliefs so that they can have a much healthier relationship with food and eating, and predominantly themselves. And then I have an online group called the Food Breakthrough Academy, which is an 8-week online course. And a lot of my clients join the Food Breakthrough Academy only, and some of them join it in conjunction with one-to-one sessions.
And one-to-one they can do over Zoom, can't they?
Yeah, I one-to-one over Zoom. The majority of my clients I've sadly not even met in person, because they're all over the world. So it's the joy that Zoom brings us. But yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jules. Thank you for coming on, being part of the Cook Vegan community. I want to say actually one last freebie for everyone. What is your favorite food? What would you recommend anybody to? There's one thing they should eat in 2022. What should it be?
That's a good question. The first thing that comes to my mind would be dal.
I love it. I love it. Healthy, got all the protein in it. Lentils, they can have it over rice or chapati or something else, or a grain, so we get all that.
And I would say that's the first thing, because firstly, it does everything you just said. Secondly, it's so easy to make. And thirdly, it's easy to freeze. So you can pull it out and use it as a kind of really good batch cooking dish, whereby you've made a whole load. And then a month later, if you just think, oh, I'm so tired tonight, I can't cook. Oh, I have a dal that was brilliantly made.
What a brilliant idea. And it's got turmeric in as well, so super healthy, different spices.
Exactly, it's immune boosting, it's protein, it's so versatile, and you can have it with all the different salad, rice, breads, whatever you want to accompany it with. Yeah, I would say that.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. So everyone, don't forget, please do subscribe to Cook Vegan YouTube channel. If you're not already a member and you are on Facebook, we've got an amazing group of over 6.1 thousand people now, very active members as well, posting amazing recipes daily, called Cook Vegan. And of course, there's the Instagram channel and so much more. So we'll see you all soon. Give us some thumbs up. And thank you, Jules. Don't forget to check her out as well. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.